Recognition of marriage solely between one man and one woman. Yes or no?
The answer is no. I hope we will strongly reject this. Fundamentally, people can have different religious beliefs. They can have beliefs about who should be allowed to marry whom. That's your choice. My family's filled with Lutheran ministers. I know lots of Lutherans. And Lutherans are divided on this issue. Some of them don't think this should be okay. Others of them, including myself, thinks that religious scriptures I read encourage us to build bonds and make lifelong commitments in good times and bad. And the bottom line is we shouldn't be picking between my religious beliefs and Senator Chamberlain's religious beliefs. We shouldn't be deciding what two adults are allowed to marry each other. That should be their decision, not the voters' decision.
First, if the amendment passes, it does not create new law. The marriage statutes prohibit same-sex unions. That was passed in the late 90s. Second, people ask, well, why now? Well, there's a case pending in Hennepin County, and the courts just, I believe the update was, they wanted to fully re-examine the issue of marriage and same-sex unions. Third, people I represent have also expressed a desire to have a debate and vote on this, and not leave this to the judges or to more legislative action. Fourth, the question is not who can marry, who should marry, but is why is the government involved in marriage in the first place? And the answer to that, whether we like it or not, the historical legal construct for that is the vulnerable third party, the children. I believe now the people should have the debate in the public square, freely, openly, and go to the polls and vote on it. We will abide by that decision.
The idea that we should, quote, let the people decide assumes that this is supposed to be a popularity type of thing. Our Constitution, the state and federal constitutions, are designed to guarantee rights to people, to protect minorities from the oppression from the majority. Voters do at times discriminate against people, things that are unknown or different or frightening to them. The Constitution is supposed to protect every one of us.
Senator Marty may not trust the collective wisdom of the people, but throughout history and throughout the history of our state and this nation, quite often the people get it right. And I'm quite confident no matter how this goes, the people will get it right.
There is nothing more intrusive than to have us as a society tell these two people they can't do it. And for this vulnerable people you're talking about, the children, they're better parents than 99% of the people I know. They're very loving, caring parents. We're going to stop somebody from falling in love with the people or from marrying the person they love because it might somehow affect somebody else.
If you don't vote, it's a no vote, so it's not easy to get a constitutional amendment passed. 213 have been proposed, only 120 have passed, so it's not that easy to get them passed. I trust the collective wisdom of the people in most cases, and I trust the Minnesotans to have a civil, rational debate on the issue and to come to the proper conclusion.
We ought to encourage people to fall in love and make lifelong commitments in sickness and in health. I think that's really valuable, and that's valuable for those kids. It's valuable for their neighbors. Homosexual attraction is foreign to me. It's unnatural. But for somebody who's got homosexual orientation, heterosexual orientation is unnatural. And because we don't understand that, we're going to deny them the right to marry the person they want? That's just wrong. Maybe we can't all see that now, but it's changing, and it's going to change. And that's why I hope we reject this amendment in 2 months.
I wish I had his crystal ball and could see into it and tell what the future will hold. The amendment, the Constitution was set up in a way to allow for these things, allow for these debates. It wants people to debate. The founders wanted people to debate. They understood that the Constitution as written in their time could probably be, they didn't want it to be a straitjacket for the entire history of the state. It will prevent the redefinition of marriage by a handful of legislators or judges, and we will abide by that final decision. Thank you.
Since many consider homosexual behavior sinful and abhorrent, why should they be expected to cede and dirty the precious word marriage?
I have a woman wrote a thing recently talking about, I find it abhorrent what people do in their private bedroom. I frankly don't like thinking about what other people choose to do in their private bedrooms. It's none of our business. Gay couples I know, they fill out their taxes. The ones who have kids, they go to the PTA meetings. They participate in Little League watching their kids play. When they're allowed to marry in this state, I'm sure there are going to be some divorces like there are with heterosexual marriages. They do the same things we do.
I have to agree with Senator Marty on one thing. Neither do I want to care to know what's going on in other people's bedrooms. I frankly don't. So, Senator Marty, we agree. People have different opinions and different views on this, and we don't always share those opinions and views, and that's fine, but that's what this is all about. The debate, the discussion, and have the people decide this in the most democratic way possible.
If the people overwhelmingly vote no on this, will you and your Republican Party introduce and pass legislation to allow same-sex couples to marry?
I am a man of integrity and character, at least I try to be, and if I say that I abide by the rule of law and the wishes and desires of people, my initial thought is it's hard for me to stand in the way of the desires of the people.
They don't have all the rights. There's no way somebody calculated there are 515 different laws where the state discriminates against somebody. If the voters do reject the Constitutional Amendment, I think we should pass it as quick as we can.
Are there disadvantages to same-sex marriages on schools, employers, churches, etc.?
I think you see more and more employers, especially the bigger ones, the 3Ms, the General Millses, and the others who are trying to recruit people nationally and so on, who are saying, we're going to give benefits. They're supporting changing the law. They're opposing the Constitutional Amendment. They're saying, we want to give benefits to partners. We want to allow people to marry.
Businesses now can do that. If they choose to give domestic partner benefits, they can do that. Yes, the couple are not legally married in the eyes of the state of Minnesota, but the businesses are allowed to provide those benefits that they see fit.
If homosexual behavior is primarily a condition of birth rather than a choice, how can you deny such people a basic human right such as marriage or legal rights that go with that word?
It's not who can marry, but why is the government involved? And that, again, is because of the vulnerable third parties. And that's why right now we don't allow polygamy, and we don't let nieces marry uncles, and 15-year-olds marry 40-year-olds.
Those families, they make these decisions because they care about those vulnerable kids. And it's our job as legislators to make sure that they get fair treatment too. And you don't have to like it.
Why not just let the conservatives win this one, given the historical and religious understanding of the word marriage? But then, through legislation or amendment, define a civil union as having all the legal rights of people who are married.
And I think that's true. We can call things the way we want. You don't ever have to use the term marriage if you don't want. I just want to make sure you can have your own choice of language. Let's just make sure government treats people equally.
Civil unions, there are things that could be addressed and discussed. First, we take care of this. People debate it, discuss it, get the issues out there, and we'll know November 7th where we're going to go.
How will it be bad for a child or children to have parents who support them and love them just because they are the same sex?
But it's not my role to be a sociologist at this point and discuss those finer points.
But shouldn't those folks deserve the same rights under our Constitution that the rest of us have?
So I want to thank, on behalf of all of us, these two fine senators, Senator Chamberlain and Senator Marty, for being public servants and representing us in the legislature. Let's give them our gratitude.